Uh, Friends, after these two very eloquent and elaborate expressions or explanations about the book, there are a couple of points which I would like to add. First of all, I joined Javed Sahab not only in congratulating but thanking Gauhar for writing this book, because this was a very important book personally for me, for someone like me who is virtually science illiterate. And therefore, to get this book and to read it was an experience in personal gratitude. And also, I feel privileged that Gauhar, पता नहीं क्यों, I don't know, गौहर ने इसके हिंदी संस्करण का प्रीफेस लिखने के लिए मुझसे कहा. So I wrote whatever I could, and Gauhar has included that in the English version also. And it was through this book that I came to know that Gauhar has been pretending all his life that he doesn't know Hindi or cannot write Hindi with confidence. The book, originally written in Hindi, is written in beautiful and very, very understandable and evocative. As I noted in my preface and I repeat, Gauhar has a rare combination of being a scientist and a poet at the same time. And therefore that poetic quality, I do not know what has happened in the translation because I have not gone through the whole book, but in Hindi it reflected Gauhar. आपकी जुबान की जो पोइटिक क्वालिटी है वो हिंदी में साफ आई है, अंग्रेजी की भगवान जाने. अंग्रेजी की भी आई होगी, आपने बात किया. See, the book, let us reflect, as Javed Sahab was talking about last 100 or 150 years. It's very interesting that at the end of 19th century, many people, many philosophers and thinkers, of course scientists, believed that the age of hegemony of religion are over. Science is expanding, the true knowledge or experiment or experience-based knowledge of universe is spreading very fast, and very soon the ideas like whatever religious ideas, they will become irrelevant or at least marginalized. I am not going to go into the details, but the fact remains that in 2025, the world is very religious, more religious probably, with the difference that more stupidly religious, not intelligently religious. It's a very strange time indeed. We are living in a time which is characterized by a very, very interesting contradiction. On one hand, we talk of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is increasing by the day. We are told that artificial intelligence ने ये चमत्कार कर दिया, कल वो चमत्कार कर देगी. I don't know what's happening to human intelligence. So artificial intelligence seems to be increasing in reverse proportion to the human intelligence. Because otherwise you cannot really have the theater of absurd which we are having throughout the world. And therefore, I particularly congratulate Gauhar for writing this book. On the occasion of launch of its Hindi edition, I had recited a शेर by Akbar Allahabadi in a slightly, क्या कहना चाहिए, समकालीन बनाते हुए. जावेद साहब, अकबर का वो जो शेर है कि रकीबों ने रपट लिखाई है जाकर थाने में, अकबर बात करता है खुदा की इस जमाने में. तो मैंने वो शेर इस वक्त के लिए बदला है कि रकीबों ने रपट लिखाई है जाकर थाने में, गौहर बात करता है अक्ल की इस जमाने में. तो इस जमाने में it's privileged, it's fashionable to be ignorant and to be proud of one's ignorance. I mean, I'm 70 now, and I have been a child like everyone else. I have been a young person like everyone else. I mean, I would feel embarrassed or I would feel, inappropriate to argue with someone who is knowledgeable. Now, this is the flavor of that time. And this happens in unexpected circles. In a professor's WhatsApp group, somebody writes a poem in the name of Premchand. And when pointed out that Premchand ने बहुत से गुनाह किए होंगे, कविता कभी नहीं लिखी. And when you tell this, and you politely inform that, well, I have been teaching Hindi all my life, you are asked to shut up and don't be unnecessarily proud of being a bloody professor. So we are living in those times. So in such a situation, to write such a book is really something which must be encouraged, which must be, I would say, done by others also who are capable of doing such a book. Second thing which I want to underline, and this comes from what Javed Sahab was talking about. Faith, he is absolutely right, faith is by definition blind. But let us not forget that faith is not merely religious. There are secular faiths also, which could be more dangerous sometimes even than the religious faiths. We know the story of dictators, authoritarian governments, authoritarian people who were, I am sure if there were some clinical trials conducted, those people will be declared clinically mad. But they ruled and they killed people, and people had faith in them. People have faith in them even today. USA voted with great faith a certain gentleman. We also did something like that. So it's not as if faith is merely a religious problem. Faith is essentially a problem of, and sometimes it is done in an organized way, systematically, deliberately by the powers that be. This kind of faith is caused by constant denigration and marginalization of human intelligence and reasoning. I mean, I think in political history, in recent political history, there can be no greater believer than Gandhiji. Gandhiji was a great believer. Gandhiji was pakka. And he made it repeatedly clear that I respect all the scriptures of all the religions, but anything contained in those scriptures going against my own vivek, my reason, my human understanding is not acceptable to me. Whether it is Gita, it is Quran, or it is Bible or anything. So it is this capacity to think, to reflect, to critically interrogate even your dearest faith, your dearest individual, your dearest this thing, that is what makes human being into a human being. And a love, even a love, without such critical distancing from oneself and the beloved, is bound to result in suicide of some kind or of the other. So whether we talk of science, we talk of faith, or we talk of anything, mythologies, we must keep that capacity intact. And finally, to my mind, the most important quality of this book is that it is not at all polemical. It does not attack religion as such. It does not attack even the idea of God or whatever. It makes the point in a very polite, persuasive, and gentle way. And that is most important. Because if you really want to approach people, अब जैसे जावेद साहब ने कहा कि वो एक तरह का पागलपन है या जो भी है, तो किसी को अगर कोई बीमारी हो, कोई परेशानी हो, तो उसको ठीक करने के कई तरीके होते हैं. डंडे से आमतौर से बीमारियां ठीक नहीं होती. वो डंडा चाहे भौतिक डंडा हो और चाहे तर्क का डंडा हो. सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी टू नोट, एंड आई हैव बीन सेइंग दिस, गौहर ने इस किताब में डंडा नहीं चलाया है. गौहर ने इस किताब में परसुएट करने की कोशिश की है विद utmost respect, with recognizing the fact that mythologies were also and are also part of human imagination, and therefore they determine our language even today. You cannot escape mythologies in that sense. You cannot dismiss them. But at the same time, you cannot surrender your critical sense, your sense of history, your capacity to argue and experiment to any kind of mythology, whether it is religious or it is secular. Thank you.